Danger, upheaval, injustice. These words describe the start of times in the 16th century. For centuries, people believed that the sun revolved around the earth, a theory called the geocentric theory. So if you assume this as earth and this as the sun, they believed that the sun revolved around the earth and that the earth was the center of the universe. But in 1543, a new scientist by the name of Nicholas Copernicus released a paper outlining something called the heliocentric theory, which basically stated that the orientations were opposite. If you see this as the sun and this is the earth, he believed that the earth revolved around the sun, and all of the other planets in the Milky Way galaxy also revolved around the sun. So as we know now, that was correct. But the church at the time did not want to disrupt the norm and change their personal values. So they started repressing these ideas and they started censoring Copernicus's and other scientists' ideas. And because of this, there's a lot of danger in the work of these scientists. Today, we're going to enter the world of the 16th century and we're going to analyze the development of the heliocentric theory through seeing its start, its development and repression, and then its rise into prevalence in the current world. So it started with the geocentric theory. According to a paper by the Iowa State University, Ptolemy, a Greek astronomer, stated that the sun actually revolved around the earth, so referencing to our previous model. And basically at the time, that was the first it was the first theory on space, and what it did is that it sparked an entirely new curiosity of space. And with this new curiosity, cultural references to space began. So according to Kagan, apparently in Dante's Inferno, they started referencing how space, like the geocentric theory and how that played into the whole concept of hell in Dante's Inferno. As the geocentric theory was spread into the public, the heliocentric theory began in development. As aforementioned, Nicholas Copernicus, with his release of On the Revolutions of Heavenly Spheres, which was a paper outlining the heliocentric theory, basically started the entire development of said theory. So after Copernicus released his theories, a new astronomer by the name of Kepler expanded on his ideas through gathering information and analyzing data. So after Copernicus released his ideas, there was immediate repression by the church. The church censored his ideas and they asked him to recant his views, which he did to save his for his safety. However, later, after Copernicus, a new scientist, Galileo, he began his research on the heliocentric theory. So using his telescope, he identified some amazing views through space, and he provided conclusive evidence that the heliocentric theory was true. Well, according to Kagan, the church immediately condemned him, and he was placed under house arrest and he was forced to recant his views. And because of that, his views were extremely repressed through his time. But even through all the repression, the heliocentric theory managed to rise into relevance. For example, a small minority of scientists already agreed with Galileo's views. For example, Kepler, as stated, and a new scientist by the name of Tycho Brahe, and he provided more evidence on top of Kepler and basically stated that the heliocentric theory was true. So, but one scientist actually provided the entire wheels to turn for the population, and he basically led to the church accepting his views and the heliocentric theory, and that was Isaac Newton. So he was a known physicist, and he also found the theory of gravitation, and in sum, basically that proved the heliocentric theory was true because the sun had a larger mass than Earth. Well, after Isaac Newton's ideas were shown, Galileo's ideas were finally accepted by the church, and according to Cowell, in 1992, the church finally apologized for the trial, calling it unjust. In conclusion, I've shown you that the heliocentric theory was struck through intense danger, and it had to come through into the world right now through a lot of hard work. And I showed you this by addressing its start, repression, and acceptance. Thank you.